Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's Tuesday night and XCAL time as the drivers take to the Indianapolis Raceway Park / Lucas Oil Raceway to battle for a $315 purse tonight, because there was some bumping and banging last week. It raised that purse, and likely some more this week to raise it once again. Plus, just a couple of weeks away from the All-Star event, drivers trying to race their way into the top 20 in the most valuable driver standings to get into playoff contention. Good evening, everybody. Hope everybody is having a great evening, and let's get this night started talking to some of the drivers in the contention. Starting off with Albie Hewins. Albie, a late start to the season, but it has definitely not slowed you down much.
No, I knew we were going to have a rough time making that up, missing a few races, but I knew we were just starting a new team and it'd take some time to get going. We still are just, getting new drivers. And this year would be pretty much just figuring it out, but
But you're doing good so far, and obviously each week building on it, it's definitely starting to show week in and week out.
Yeah, that's what we're working on. And the guys I got do good. I mean, they put more time in every week than I do most weeks, so I can't complain. Can't complain there.
Definitely not. Well, man.
So yeah, I'm gonna try to stay in the top 20 and make it to the end.
Well, I hope you make it, buddy. Good luck tonight. It's been a great season so far.
Yeah, 10-4, Doug. Thanks.
Matt Pelletier also here tonight. Matt, honestly, we haven't seen you much. This is only your second or third race of the season, but you came back in pretty much Matt Pelletier fashion.
Yeah, I'm just trying to kind of get back into the swing of things. There's no other leagues that I run out there that run, this long of races. So, I've ran in the past, so I kind of know how to pace myself. It's just kind of getting back into the swing of things, like I said, so.
Well, so far so good. You're definitely back in the swing of things. How are you feeling about it here tonight? You're obviously sixth fastest at the moment.
Pretty good. I try to, be more of a long run car than short speed. So, I do think that overall there are a lot of other guys that are faster than me, out of the gate. But, I know that a lot of these races end up being fuel and tire strategy kind of. So I'm more focused on that tonight, if anything.
Well, man, best of luck tonight. We know you'll be great on the long run, and this is a track that's likely to stay green and play in your favor. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
Driver right outside was actually in the top 20, looking at the playoffs until last week. Got bumped to 21st, Michael DiCarlo. And Michael, I have to say, the last couple of weeks since that top 10 finish at Phoenix, you've just been getting faster and faster. How much Navy Joe coffee are you putting in the gas tank?
Well, we get about 2.5 pounds a month delivered to the households, and we put it through really stringent testing to get the best fuel. Make sure we get the best fuel out of it, Doug. That's what we're doing.
That definitely would do the job. I know just being without it for 4 or 5 days has turned my life upside down, so I can imagine how great that is. Looking to get yourself back into the playoffs tonight. How are you feeling about this track?
This track's challenging, but it's a lot like Phoenix, and that some good luck on my end, and maybe we'll find another horseshoe here in Indiana.
Man, I certainly hope so. It's been awesome seeing you come in your first season, seeing some struggles early in the season, but the last few races, it started finally turning around.
Yeah, Doug, this is fun. This is, I come here, I want to win, but I don't expect to win. I've won a lot of things in life, but this is fun. This is like my humility check, and I really enjoy racing with all these guys. And this is, I'd like to see a lot more folks come out here and, enjoy XCAL.
Well, man, good luck tonight. Hopefully you continue headed the right way, buddy.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Doug.
Michael DiCarlo ready to go. Also ready to go, a name you're all familiar with, Richie Joplin. Richie, only a few races into your XCAL career here. You've gotten a couple of top 10s already.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to race all these guys. I'm enjoying it. It's something different. I've never did race these street stocks much, so I'm learning. And I'm trying to help Albie out as much as possible since he just started it up, and I'm trying to learn what I can.
I have to ask the obvious question. Are you telling these guys that you struggle and you're no good in these cars?
Well, I'm struggling. I'm no good in these cars, so I'm working that. I'm working that to get better.
So the people that know you know that's not true, by the way.
Oh.
Well, man, it is great to see you out here, and we do wish you the best here tonight. Hopefully you can keep it out of trouble and make your way to the front.
Yeah, I just got to stay away from the 7 car at Jeff Egger. He spun me out in one of the practice races, so I have to stay away from there. He kind of likes to lay the bumper to me.
Well, you always know where your bumper is, buddy. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
And finally, in a new car with a new team tonight, Johnny Evans. Johnny switching up teams this week.
Yeah. First off, I got to thank Frank for not knowing the rules and giving me this opportunity. And yeah, I'm thankful for Jeff to buy me a car and let me run it for this week. Maybe in the future. I don't know yet.
Well, it's definitely an interesting situation with Nine Shiza completely out of the race this week. So hopping into Jeff's car and Jeff's team at the top of the board, how are you feeling about your chances out here? Obviously, you've kind of come in here like a storm this season. You've been extremely fast.
Yeah, I'm just hoping for a top 10, maybe a top 5. It's a similar setup as what I usually run with Frank and them. Just hoping for a good night, points night, and hopefully I get in the top 20.
Well, best of luck tonight, man. It's been a great rookie season so far.
Thank you. And I just want to thank you for doing the broadcast for however many more races you have. And I want to thank ZFG Goon Squad and Team ZSS for everything that they've done for me.
Awesome, man. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Getting ready, just about 45 seconds left to go in the warm-up. Then the drivers will take to the track to battle for 275 laps. The magic number the drivers are looking for here tonight is 55 laps on a tank of fuel. If the race stays green, they can do the race on 4 stops. But anything less than 55 laps, they're going to have to make an extra splash and go stop, which could be fatal to a race win opportunity. All the teams out here in full force, 26 cars, take to the track once again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Chris Johnson, Stephen Rex have the front row. Jimmy Johnson and Zach Edwards on the second row. King Matthew the Bear and Brent Meckes on the third row. Jared Mogard and Joe Campbell on the fourth row. Flying Ryan and Sean Andrews round out the top 10. Matt Pelletier starting in 11th with Michael DiCarlo starting in 12th. J.R. Tanksley starting in 13th. Nick the College Kid starts 14th. Sean Patrick starting in 15th. Jeff Edgar in 16th. Jose Godino starting in 17th. J-Dog Seams in 18th. Albie Ewens 19th and Steven Seams in 20th. Cristiano Roca and Clayton Wise 21st and 22nd. Johnny Evans, Richie Joplin 23rd and 24th. Gerald Thanos Poole and Lataro Lamperti round out the 26-car field here tonight. All the drivers roll out on track for the pace laps behind the iRacing pace truck. Good evening, Mark Dantuma, J.R. Tanksley. Good luck, J.R. Good evening, Frank Klein. Good evening, Richie Joplin. Best of luck to Richie and obviously Gerald Thanos Poole cheering on Flaming Karma Racing. And Mark saying happy birthday to Richie Joplin. I'll have to look here in a bit and see how old Richie is today. I think we're somewhere around the 150th birthday of 2024 for Richie. Pace truck is in. Drivers looking to the flag stand. Aaron Hillebush in control with the flag out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air there, down and away at IRP. Chris Johnson gets a big launch into 1. Jimmy Johnson loses some ground on the start. Quickly go to single file. This is a top dominant track. However, in recent months, a lot of drivers have found ways to make the bottom of this track work for them. Hey, good evening to Tonya Gleason. And Chris Johnson is on pit road. Did he jump the start? Chris Johnson coming down pit road in the EHP car. Does look like this was a penalty. That moves Stephen Rex to the lead. Zach Edwards into second place. Jimmy Johnson now in third. King Matthew the Bear in fourth. Jared Bogard in fifth. Michael DiCarlo on the move. Started back in 12th, already up to 11th. J.R. Tanksley also on the move, up to 12th. A little blink there out of JR. He is running a special memorial paint scheme. His dad passed 4 years ago this week, so running a very special paint scheme for him tonight. Zach Edwards out front in the J&S car, pulling a gap on Jimmy Johnson as Jimmy looks underneath Stephen Rex for second. Jason Seams starting to make some moves, as is Cristiano Roca and Johnny Evans. Lataro, though, already up 7 spots into 19th. Matt Pelletier, only his second or third race back in XCAL this season, already up 3 spots into 8th place. Just ahead of him, the fearless leader of J&S, Joe Campbell. Those J&S Racing aces still sit second in the team points just a few points out of the lead. And it looking like they came tonight to take that points lead back. Zach Edwards up front, Jared Mogard back in fourth, and Joe Campbell in sixth. Several J&S cars already into the top 10, including Flying Ryan, who is in ninth. But Joe Campbell is already on the move. Joe to fifth. Comes past Stephen Rex. Rex losing a lot of ground in the early laps here. Steven seems has unexpectedly gone to pit road. Chris Johnson has served his penalty, is back out 2 laps down. And 2 weeks from tonight is the XCAL All-Star event. The top 20 drivers in the most valuable driver standings will make it in. There you see the top 15. Most of them will be able to hold their positions easily. But from 16th on back, everybody is still within that window to easily bump back up there and get it done. It's going to be a dogfight for the next 2 weeks. Zach Edwards still in the lead, but Jimmy Johnson reeling him in. King Matthew the Bear in third. Mogard now in fourth. Joe Campbell in fifth. Stephen Rex in sixth. Brent Meckes in seventh. Matt Pelletier in eighth. Flying Ryan in ninth. Sean Andrews currently in 10th. Flying Ryan already looking under Pelletier. Very tricky to get the pass done on the bottom, and seeing a lot of these guys not running right by the wall, seeing a lot of middle lane usage here. And they're trying to make it 3 wide for 8th place. J.R. Tanksley right behind Flying Ryan. Sean Andrews in the top 10. Sean trying to drop to the bottom and follow Ryan through. Steven Seams has completed his stop, is back out on track. Sean Andrews using all of the track to find some momentum here. Back up front, King Matthew the Bear just went to second place from Jimmy Johnson. Has given Zach Edwards a chance to pull a 1-second lead at the moment. This battle, though, from about 6th place, 7th place on back, is really heating up. Flying Ryan still trying to clear Pelletier. Ryan finally settles back into line. Matt trying to reel Zach back in. We'll see if Sean Andrews, we saw him using all of the track, trying to get some momentum here. J.R. Tanksley did get a win last night, and Jones BS Racing was very hyped up coming into tonight. Nick the college kid up into 12th now. Jeff Edgar in 13th, and J-Dog Seams already up 4 spots into 14th. Johnny Evans in a new car with the new team up 8 spots into 15th. Michael DiCarlo has had some problems. He started in 11th and had made his way into the top 10, but has now fallen to 24th. He has got to make his way toward the front tonight for any chance of getting into the All-Star event. Don't forget, you can go vote for an entry into the XCAL All-Star event at xcalracing.com. Steven Rex in the early going slipped back to 6, bringing Brent Mekas to his bumper. Matt Pelletier, Flying Ryan, Sean Andrews, and the rest of the field pretty much nose to tail. A few gaps when you get back around 16th, which, speaking of 16th, is Lataro up 10 spots into 16th, right behind Johnny Evans, who's up 8 spots into 15th. Now the sun is going down, so we will see track lighting later on in the race that may have a big effect. The drivers will have to make an adjustment for that. Track temperature there currently at 77 degrees. But as the sun goes down and the lights come up, 2 things are going to happen. They'll have more grip and they'll use more fuel. Talking to some of the teams, we have heard some wild numbers. Most drivers saying 50 to 65 laps on a tank of fuel. Rumor has it some have said 80. I think that may be a little bit much. But the magic number will be 55. They've got to go at least 55 laps on it. Wow, Zach is loose coming out of 4. They've got to make it 55 laps on a tank of fuel to be able to do the race on 4 stops. Otherwise, they will have to make a 5th stop, a splash and go late in the race, and could lose a ton of ground. Jared Mogard on the attack in 4th, looking underneath Jimmy Johnson for 3rd. Mogard finally clears into 3rd. Matt Bear has just about caught the leader. Matt Bear in that busting at the seams 81 car. That team despite being a first-year team, has been doing amazing. A rough start to the season with technical issues, but they have come back strong and are just about 140 points out of the team championship. They have been closing that gap week in and week out. And when you have the defending champ behind the wheel of one of your cars, you're going to have some great races. Richie Joplin, another driver on the move in the 75 car. Richie already up 6 spots into 8. Richie, a very, very popular driver in the HTSAI community. He drives everything. And if you heard the pre-race interview, he tells everybody he can't drive anything. He's terrible. Last week at Martinsville, pulled the top 10. He's been battling in the top 10 every week. Never qualifies well, but always there at the end. Richie now making the move for 17th. Meanwhile, Lataro, who's been fighting his way forward all night, started back in 26 due to a penalty tonight, has now made his way up into 16th and about to start coming through the field. Nick, the college kid, already up 3 spots as well into 11th. Oh! Stephen Rex got a little bit of the wall. Looked like coming out of 2. Starting to see a lot of these cars get loose on corner exit. But Stephen Rex opened the door for Sean Andrews. Sean Andrews now looking underneath Stephen Rex. Sean just wants to have a good race, make it to the end without technical issues or getting caught up in somebody else's incident. Sean has many wins in XCAL competition, but this season has definitely not gone his way. Zach Edwards still in the lead. King Matthew the Bear right on his bumper in the draft. Steven Seams is back on pit road. This is unexpected. Steven Seams' second pit stop of the night already. Awfully quiet in the comments. Don't forget to cheer for your favorite driver and let us know how your day is or how your week's going. And if you guys out there, much like us, are caught as we have a battle for the lead, King Matthew the Bear to the lead. As I was saying, if you guys are caught up in the storms like we were last night, and will be tomorrow night, hope everybody out there stays safe. Joe Campbell now up into 5th. 3 J&S cars in the top 5. Every time we go to either a restrictor plate race or a flat track like IRP, J&S just comes. They just have the car dialed in perfectly, strategies. What in the world? Zach Edwards just turned left into the inside wall. Is this a technical issue? Zach has towed to pit road. Matt Bear now out front by 1.6 seconds. Jared Mogard now in second. Jimmy Johnson in third. Joe Campbell in fourth. Brent Meckes in fifth. Two of the guys that started in the top 5 tonight already having problems. Chris Johnson appeared to get a penalty for jumping the start. He is now back in 24th. Zach Edwards, we have no idea what happened there. And Steven Seams went through pit road again. I have no idea what is happening with Steven. Matt Pelletier now up into 6th. Sean Andrews in 7th. Still several J&S cars in the top 10. King Matthew the Bear already into lap traffic going around Michael DiCarlo. DiCarlo back up into 23rd after starting in 12th. DiCarlo said he is loving this. He's been a winner at multiple things in his life. This has been a humbling experience, and he is loving it. You can go to xcalracing.com and vote for Michael DiCarlo to get into the All-Star event 2 weeks from tonight. Steven Seams has had another problem. He is towed. It looked like he was on his way into pit road when he did tow. Flying Ryan has now made his way to 8th, and the college kid trying to come by and move into 9th. Hey, good evening, Starley, cheering on Flying Ryan Seams. And now the college kid, Nicholas Seams, is clear into 9th. Jason Seams just behind in 11th. And we are expecting to see Earl Seams back at the Chicago road course as well. Steven Seams, as you saw, we've got 3 wide out of 2. As Steven tries to make a move, Jimmy Johnson is in. We are in the fuel window. Sean Patrick has also come to pit road. Now it's a question of how far beyond 55 these guys go. Richie Joplin, Michael DiCarlo also in. J.R. Tanksley is headed in. The college kid. Sean Andrews, Joe Campbell. Looks like most of J&S headed to pit road. Pelletier now headed to pit road. Flying Ryan and J-Dog Seams are in. Albie Hewins, Jose Godino are in. King Matthew the Bear is in. Jared Mogart staying out to lead a lap. We have seen this all season long, especially from J&S Racing. That team works so well together on strategy to make sure all their drivers get to lead. Mogart is in. Jeff Edgar is headed in. Steven Rex is going to stay out and attempt to lead a lap here. And Steven Rex will lead at the line. Latoro in second while pit stops are underway. We're going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we are back, folks. Don't forget, next week we are at the Nashville Fairgrounds as we get ready 2 weeks from tonight to go to the All-Star event at Charlotte. Next week will be the drivers' last chance to race their way in. Then it'll come down to you, the fans, voting in the final drivers. Hey, good evening, Danny. Danny, I don't suppose you're at home tonight and can tell us what happened with Zach Edwards earlier. After pit stops, King Matthew the Bear out front, followed by Jared Mogard, Jimmy Johnson, Joe Campbell, and Sean Andrews. Sean currently running in 5th place. A great run by Sean. Does he have the lucky rabbit's foot in hand? Sean coming by Joe now to take 4th. Matt Pelletier has moved up into 6th. Brent Meckes in 7th. Cristiano Roca 13 spots into 8th. Jose Godino in 9th. Flying Ryan in 10th. Well, Danny, Zach was kind of out front leading, suddenly just turned left into the infield wall, towed it to pit road, and still don't know what caused his issues. Albie Ewan's one of the drivers trying to race his way into the All-Star event, currently in 20th. Gerald Thanos Poole up 6 spots into 19th. J.R. Tanksley lost some ground during pit stops. He is now back into 18th. Johnny Evans up 6 spots into 17th. Jeff Edgar in 16th. Stephen Rex lost a lot of ground in the early part of this race. He is now back in 15th. Richie Joplin, once again, like last week in Martinsville, quietly making his way through the field up into 14th. Lataro started tail into the field due to a penalty, up 13 spots into 13th. Nick the College Kid in 12th, J-Dog Seams in 11th, and Flying Ryan in 10th. The 3 Seams is all together again. Hey, good evening, Jared Heasley. Oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot, Danny. Jared Heasley dropping in, cheering on Flaming Karma. As King Matthew the Bear closes, ooh, really close to the wall there. Closing in on Albie Hewins to put him a lap down in 20th. Jimmy Johnson currently running in 3rd, started in 3rd, lost a little ground in the first run. Back up into the fight. Sean Andrews currently sits in 4th, Joe Campbell in 5th. Track temperature still holding at 77 degrees, but the air temperature is starting to come down. And as the sun goes down, the lights come up. As we mentioned, the track will cool, the drivers will have more grip, more speed and use more fuel, there were a few drivers right on that 55, 56 lap mark on fuel could be in trouble. Jared Mogard in second, 4 seconds out of the lead. Jimmy Johnson, 2.25 seconds behind him. Sean Andrews is the fastest driver in the top 5 right now. Everybody, for the moment, a bit spread out until you get back to about 10th place, then everybody is fighting. Jose Godino at the back of this group as they go at it. Let's ride along on Jose's nose cam. There he is, right behind Lautaro. Down into turn 3, and looks like Jose getting a great run into the turn. Did great mid-turn that time as well as he closes back in. Multiple lines being used. Oh, the 24 looked like Cristiano may have kissed the wall. Godino now looking underneath. Back down the front straightaway. Jose did that lap in a 24.14. Hey, good evening, Kenny. J.R. Takesley back behind has had a problem. There is no caution. Coming out of turn 4, we've seen... No, he just had a connection problem. Jared Mogard sitting in second was watching for a moment there. He is still holding about 4 seconds back from the leader. Looks like he loses a little ground in 1 and 2, gains it back in 3 and 4. Despite the track being more or less symmetrical, both ends of the track you drive substantially differently. Hey, good evening, Russell. Thanks, Kenny. And the 3 Seamses have started moving up, flying Ryan in 8th, Jason in 9th, Nick in 10th, but Nick has his hands full as Lautaro has caught him. Talked about it earlier on in the race that this track is a high line dominant track, so you've got to, it takes some work to make the pass down on the bottom, and oftentimes takes several laps. Running down there also tends to heat the tires up and use them up a lot more. You gotta be careful how long you are down there and how much you battle. Steven Rex has started moving his way forward again. trying to close back in on Cristiano Roca. Cristiano now in 14th. Godino up to 13th. Richie Joplin into 12th, up 12 spots. But Lataro up 15 spots into 11th. Just cannot get past the wall of seams. Meanwhile, King Matthew the Bear continues laying down his laps. Can't seem to pull away from Mogard. But Mogard is not getting any closer at the moment. And the way this race is going, this may very well come down to who has the best long-run car. Matt Pelletier was talking in pre-race. He sets his car up for the long run. He plans for the long run. He is not a short run kind of guy, and it is starting to show. Already up 5 spots into 6th. And at the moment, Sean Andrews in 4th has caught up to 3rd place, Jimmy Johnson. We are definitely keeping our fingers crossed for Sean Andrews tonight. Just hoping Sean can make it to the end. We know how fast he is. We know he knows how to get to victory lane in XCAL, but man, it has been a rough season for Sean. Hey, good evening, Earl Seams. Rumor has it Earl will be back in the car for the Chicago Street Circuit. Sean Andrews, a bit of a blink on the front straightaway. Gerald Poole now in traffic right behind J.R. Tanksley, Johnny Evans, Jeff Edgar, Stephen Rex. And right behind them, the leader is closing less than half a straight back. Matt definitely on a tear here tonight. Sean Andrews still behind Jimmy Johnson, has not made a big move to try and get past. I have a feeling right now we've seen a couple of drivers get up to the back bumper of the car ahead and not make any moves. Brent Mekas has been riding behind Pelletier for quite a while. I have a feeling some of these drivers are doing so just to conserve some fuel. Jose Godino is the first driver in for fuel. Gerald Poole now headed to pit road as the leader goes by. Everybody's spacing out just a little bit, preparing for their pit stops. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll see where your favorite driver is. Stick around, everybody. And we are back. Pit stops are underway. As it looks like the leader, Matt Bear, heads to pit road. Jared Mogard staying out. Over half the field now completing their second pit stop. And word has it, next week, Earl Seams will be hopping in the car for an oval race at Nashville. So tune in next Tuesday night for the Nashville Fairgrounds. And don't forget to hit like, follow, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that share button. Invite your friends and family. Don't forget to check out the XCAL Racing web shop, including where you can get the new Austin Edwards Goat Fire t-shirt and the new Flaming Karma Team t-shirt. More team t-shirts are coming. Tonight's event is brought to you in part by Tri-E Inc. and the Cooler Crew, and race control equipment provided by Admin Box. Use promo code XCAL-BOX to save 10% on all orders at www.adminbox.com. Taking a look down from the blimp while pit stops are underway. Tomorrow night, the Nowski Nation is back as their playoffs continue. Who will be the champ? Tomorrow night, they will be at Kansas. The final battle in the round of 12, excuse me. Thursday night, Home Motorsports continues their new season. 7 Eastern, make sure you tune in. Immediately followed by the HTSAI Community Convoy. Friday night, we do have HTSAI Friday Fun League at 8 Eastern. Will I make an appearance? Sunday morning, GT3 NSS. Actually, I'm not even 100% sure on that due to Mother's Day. I do know BRR, their new season takes Sunday off due to Mother's Day as well. Monday night, Jones BS Racing continues at 8:30 Eastern. Both legends and late models, and man, some great, exciting, and occasionally chaotic racing there. And of course, next Tuesday night, we'll be back at the Nashville Fairgrounds for XCAL. And 2 weeks from tonight, we will have the XCAL All-Star event. Drivers in the top 20 in the most valuable drivers will make it into that event. The rest of the drivers in the field will be voted on by you. Check it out at xcalracing.com. And if you know who you're voting for to make it in to the XCAL All-Star race, let us know in the comments who you're voting for. Looking through the field as Lataro comes in. Stephen Rex and Jeff Edgar, the last two to come to pit road. They will complete the cycle of pit stops. Joe Campbell going by on fresh tires. Jeff Edgar is now headed in, so just Stephen Rex left to complete the cycle of stops. Stephen Rex staying out on fuel, but they are losing ground due to tire fall off. Stephen Rex's fastest lap, 23.52. Last time by, 24.48. Almost a full second off pace on old tires. Jeff Edgar on his way back out. However, as we mentioned, you can make this race on 4 stops. Stephen Rex is well beyond the 55 lap requirement to pull it off. And now 3 wide out of 2 with cars that aren't on the lead lap. Rex has to be hoping a caution comes out before he comes to pit road. He would end up trapping a lot of folks 1 or more laps down. And Rex is still staying out. Matt Bear currently second, is still 28 seconds, well over a lap behind Stephen Rex at the moment. And here comes the leader. Stephen Rex is on pit road. Did Stephen Rex just outdo everybody? We'll find out at the end of this race, but so far, this race has gone green flag, and he has had the longest fuel run. Matt Bear now cycles back to the lead. Jared Mogard will come back into second. Sean Andrews in third. Chris Johnson has had a problem. He is slowed down on the apron, is going again. No caution. Let's see what happened. Chris coming down the front straightaway. Richie Joplin right behind. Chris was a little bit loose, as was Richie. Just a little love tap. Looking down from the chopper at this one. Yeah, Richie just gets into his left rear corner, sends him around. Matt Bear has nowhere to go, gives him another tap. Joe Campbell now up into fourth, battling with Jimmy Johnson. Matt Pelletier, Flying Ryan, is closing in as well. Joe was definitely giving Jimmy a run for his money there. Pelletier looked like he was going to stick it up the middle, backed out of it wisely, and Joe up on the high side has the preferred line and the momentum out of the turn, but Jimmy Johnson down on the bottom is not lifting. Man, they were close off too. Pelletier still gets that good run into the turn. If they open a gap big enough, he's going to stick it in there and make it 3 wide, and now Flying Ryan in the mix. This is for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place. Also, Nick the College Kid not far behind with J-Dog and Lataro. That second group back behind is closing in as Jimmy looks to the inside once again for 4th. Jimmy had the nose ahead going into 1, but again, that outside line is the place to be. Makes that car on the bottom work twice as hard to make a move. Oh, Jimmy gets it deep into the middle of 3 and 4. A little loose out of 4, gathers it up, but Joe able to capitalize and get the nose ahead again. And Matt Pelletier sitting there chomping at the bit. Has almost had multiple openings, just hasn't been able to get through. Now Pelletier looks to the inside on Joe as Jimmy finally clears. This is going to be close out of the turn. Pelletier can't get clear. Cindy Andrews cheering on Sean Andrews. I'm almost afraid to even talk about Sean. He's currently running in third, has had no technical issues, and not been caught up in anything tonight. And we are past the halfway point. So, fingers crossed, he makes it to the end and maybe even pulls off a podium tonight. Would be great to see Sean back. Lataro has had a problem. Lataro is slow on the front straightaway, but no caution. Let's see what happened to Lataro Lamperti. Lataro side by side with the one car. Oh, a lot of banging out of four. Lataro slides it down into the infield, out of the racing line. Everybody manages to get clear and get by. Lataro had been fighting up into the top 10, lost a lot of ground on that one. Matt Bear out front, Jared Mogard in second for the first time since that first pit stop. Somebody is closing the gap on King Matthew the Bear. Mogard now down to 3.9 seconds and getting closer. Sean Andrews in third, about 3.7 seconds back. Jimmy Johnson now in fourth, Pelletier in fifth, Flying Ryan in sixth. Nick the College Kid in seventh, J-Dog in eighth. Joe Campbell back in ninth, but trying to fight back. And Brent Mecca sits in 10th. Really surprised to see Joe Campbell losing ground. Joe is one of those guys always at the front on the flat tracks and the plate tracks. Brent Mecca is now looking underneath Joe to take 8th. Joe just on that high line. Anybody up on that high line mid-turn gets a run, and if you're on the bottom, it's so hard to make the pass. But if you have your car dialed in, you can do exactly what Brent Mecca's just did. Power up off all the way out to the car on the high side. Whenever possible, the car on the high side will try and pinch down the car on the bottom to cut off their run on exit, but this time it won't work. Mecca's clears into 8th. Jimmy Johnson in 4th, still battling with Pelletier. Flying Ryan right behind, and the College Kid not far behind either. J-Dog lurking back in 10th. Jeff Edgar in 11th. Richie Joplin now to 12th. Johnny Evans in 13th. Lataro in 14th. Albie Hewins is on pit road. This is an off-cycle stop. King Matthew the Bear still out front over Mogard. But Mogard continuing to reel him in slowly. Couple hundredths of a second a lap, but every little bit is counting. Sean Andrews back there in third, 5 seconds back from Mogard, but 10 seconds ahead of Jimmy Johnson. Pelletier and Flying Ryan right there with Johnson. And Nick, the college kid, seems just 1 second back. Sean Andrews has started blinking just a little bit. Hopefully not a sign of things to come for Sean. Matt Bear going by Joe Campbell. Joe currently in 11th. Now scored a lap down. The longer this stays green, the more cars Matt will put a lap down. Matt still doing extremely well on his fuel mileage. The track temperature is still holding at 77. The air temperature now down to 71 though. That's going to start affecting the fuel mileage for these drivers. We talked about that 55 lap window they have to be at, but as the temperature cools off, the engines run a little cooler, burn a little more fuel, produce a little bit more power. They're going to need to go more than 55. The guys that have stretched to 60 in the early going of this race definitely going to have an advantage. We know Brent Mekas can stretch it so far to 60 plus, as can Jeff Edgar. Lataro also stretching beyond 60 laps. Jose Godino is not. He is on pit road. We're going to take a quick commercial break, folks. Don't worry, we're going to go side by side. You won't miss a thing, and when we come back, we'll take you through the field to see where your favorite driver is. Don't go anywhere. And we are back as pit stop cycle through. Hey, good evening to Kevin Reed. And Cristiano Roca has had a problem. Roca off into 3 and 4. Drifts it out of turn 4. Oh, hard to the inside wall. Gets it rolling again, but heavy, heavy damage to the right front of that car. A heartbreak for a guy who was charging forward. Jared Mogard now has the lead as pit stop cycled through. Mogard headed to pit road. Just a few drivers left to come in. Everybody stretching the fuel as far as possible. Just under 100 laps to go at IRP. And most of the drivers at this point can go the distance with this and one more stop. Once pit stops are completed, we're going to go through the field, show you where your favorite drivers are. But while they are underway, let's take a look at some of the XCAL point standings, including the most valuable driver. These are the drivers that will be battling in the All-Star event. There's your top 15. The top 20 will do battle. Last week, Michael DiCarlo got bumped out. Can he make up the ground? Can Johnny Evans do well enough here tonight? And what about Matt Pelletier, Gerald Poole, Albie Ewens? Some of these drivers still in contention. Looking at the Rookie of the Year, Lautaro still on top. Lautaro took the lead in that a couple weeks ago and isn't giving it up. That number 81 driven by Matt Bear still at the top of the points. Matt out here trying to defend his championship from last year. Coming into this week, Fastlane Motorsports still tops the team points with J&S and Flaming Karma right there on their bumper and busting at the seams, climbing up. All of the 9 Shiza cars out of the race this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week and back into the fight. And finally, that dash for cash on Monday night, Jared Mogart has a huge lead in that, having won $138 so far. Stephen Rex finally coming in to complete his stop. That should cycle Matt Bear back into the lead, but Mogard is less than 3 seconds behind now. And Sean Andrews still holding on to third. Sean about 7 seconds behind Mogard and 7.5 seconds ahead of Brent Meckes. As Stephen Rex comes back out on track, let's run through the field and see where your favorite drivers are. King Matthew the Bear, the defending champ, out front by 2.8 seconds over Jared. Ooh. Our Tanksley a little bit loose in front of Mogard. Mogard currently in second, closing the gap on the leader. Sean Andrews has had such a rough season for a multi-time winner in XCAL. Tonight, currently running in third, hoping to turn things around. Brent Mecca is currently running at fourth. Brent has been extending his fuel all night long, as has fifth place Jeff Edgar. Both drivers stretching to the absolute limit. Nick the college kid currently running in sixth place, quietly making his way forward all night. Jimmy Johnson started in third, has run the top five most of the night, currently sits in seventh. Flying Ryan Seams currently in 8th place, in a little bit of a battle here. He's got Matt Pelletier right behind him in 9th. Pelletier in pre-race said that car and that driver are set up for the long run. We'll see how he does towards the end of this run, going into the final pit stop. J-Dog Seams started in 18th, already up into the top 10. Continues to lead that team, and they continue to get better week in and week out. Stephen Rex, currently in 11th, has stretched his fuel further than anybody else all night long. Keep an eye on him late in the race. Lataro, currently running in 12th, started tail end of the field. Had a problem earlier, lost a bunch of ground, still fighting his way back. Joe Campbell currently runs in 13th. A bit surprised to see him outside the top 5 at a track like this. Side by side with him is Richie Joplin. Richie up 10 spots now into 14th. Richie has been up in the top 10 here tonight. Can he finish, make it 2 top 10s in a row? Johnny Evans back in 15th. Johnny, one of the rookies this season, having a great run here tonight. Jose Godino currently in 16th. Big surprise. He has been pitting earlier than most. Usually we see Jose stretching that fuel. Does he have something up his sleeve? J.R. Tanksley coming off that big win at Jones BS Racing last night, driving with that memorial for his dad on the car, currently in 17th. Gerald Thanos Poole currently running in 18th, back in the car tonight after a couple weeks off, just running the team up 7 spots. Sean Patrick currently running in 19th. Not his best qualifying, qualified in 15th. A bit of a surprise to see Sean struggling here. Zach Edwards was up front leading early on in the race. Something went horribly wrong. Coming out of turn 4, he turned it down into the wall and stopped. Towed it to pit road. He is back out on track in 20th. Clayton Wise quietly running around the track, currently in 21st. Michael DiCarlo started in 12th tonight, but has dropped all the way back to 22nd. Michael trying to get a good run here tonight to keep himself in all-star contention. Chris Johnson got a penalty at the start of the night that has put him a couple laps down. No cautions. He has been unable to make up any ground, back in 23rd. Albie Hewins currently runs in 24th. Albie having a bit of a struggle here tonight. That team, though, is starting to come together, and big things to come later this season. Cristiano Roca and Steven Seams out early tonight. Matt Bear continuing to lead this one. Now only 4 cars left on the lead lap. Matt Bear, Jared Mogart, Sean Andrews, and Brent Meckes. This race has stayed green for all 202 laps so far. Very minimal problems and no drama on track tonight. Mogard continues to chomp away at the lead, now just 2.2 seconds back. The real battle, though, is from 6th on back. Jimmy Johnson in 6th, Flying Ryan in 7th, Pelletier in 8th. Nick the College Kid in 9th, and J-Dog Seems in 10th. Zach Edwards is on pit road. He cannot go the distance from here. Mogard coming by some lap traffic, now under 2 seconds behind Matt Bear. Zach Edwards has completed his pit stop. Sean Andrews back in third, staying right behind Joe Campbell, just keeping that car clean and safe. I do not think anybody would be sad to see him on the podium again tonight. It has been a long time. It has been a rough start to the season. It is well past time for Sean to get back up there. Bryn Mekas in fourth. Jeff Edgar back in fifth. Jeff actually just ahead of Flying Ryan. Matt Bear closing back up on more traffic. Aaron Hillebush up in the stand has had a quiet night here tonight. You gotta wonder if his arms have fallen asleep. He's not had to wave a flag since the drop of the green. In about 8 laps, everybody will be within the fuel window to make it to the end. As Matt Bear looks underneath Godino to put him another lap down, got a little close there off the turn. Stephen Rex is on pit road. Rex, one of the drivers that has been stretching the fuel window all night long. He may be able to make it from here. Albie Hewan's also on pit road. We're just 5 laps shy of that window we've been talking about all night. That magic number of 55. But some of these drivers have stretched 60 or more laps, and we're seeing that come into play as Stephen Rex comes back out. However, some of the drivers that haven't been able to make that 55 lap mark, they will have to come back in one last time to get a splash of fuel. And before things heat up, we are going to take our final commercial break. When we come back, folks, we're taking you to the finish. Don't go anywhere. And we are back, just 50 laps left to go here at IRP. Final pit stops are underway. And some of these battles starting to heat up. Hey, good evening, Kevin. Don't forget, next Tuesday night we will be at the Nashville Fairgrounds, a bumpy, brutal track. Things are definitely going to get dicey out there. And 2 weeks from tonight, the XCAL All-Star event. Also, for those who had not heard, that All-Star event will be my final XCAL broadcast. Not sure what we will be doing after that. We will be helping XCAL transition. Look forward to seeing who they get and what the future holds for XCAL. And who knows, I already have a couple of offers to hop in a street stock. So you may very well finally see me out on track with the XCAL boys. Mogart is in for his stop. And now Brett Meckus in for his final stop. leaving only a handful of cars to go. Flying Ryan, Matt Pelletier still battling it out as Pelletier leads for the first time tonight, picking up some bonus points for his team. Matt Bear back out on track. Flying Ryan heads in. Johnny Evans, Jared Mogard. Evans has not come in. Mogard out of pit road. And some of these drivers that were able to stretch their fuel, really stretch their fuel. There's quite a few of these drivers that have been able to take quite a bit shorter pit stops. Once he stops cycle through, we'll see where everybody stands. I have a feeling from the looks of it, we're going to see several positions change. Matt Pelletier holds the lead. Johnny Evans in second. The top two have not pitted, but Jared Mogard in third has completed his final pit stop and is 3.8 seconds ahead of King Matthew the Bear. Lataro, who started tail into the field, now sits in fifth place, has completed his final stop. Richie Joplin currently in 15th, trying to get past Pelletier to get one of his laps back. Trying to close the gap on Joe Campbell in 14th. Johnny Evans is bringing it down pit road, leaving only Matt Pelletier to complete his final stop. Don't forget, tomorrow night, as we look down from the blip, tomorrow night the Nowski Nation is back. And yes, some of the drivers you see out here will be on track at Kansas as the round of 12 of the playoffs comes to a close. 8 drivers will advance. Thursday night, we'll see Gerald Thanos Poole, Richie Joplin, and others battling it out at Home Motorsports at 7 Eastern. A lot of great racing. Pelletier is in. Matt Pelletier finally giving up the lead. And this will cycle back. Jared Mogard takes the lead. King Matthew the Bear in second, 3.3 seconds back. Brem Mekas now to third, Lataro in fourth, Stephen Rex in fifth. Sean Andrews lost some time on pit road, now back in sixth. But Sean only half a second behind Rex. And it looks like Sean Andrews just 30 laps away I do believe this will be the first race this season he's made it to the end. What a turnaround tonight for Sean. Jimmy Johnson in 7th. Flying Ryan currently in 8th. Pelletier comes off pit road in 9th. Jeff Edgar in 10th. Nick the college kid now in 11th. Jason Seams in 12th. Johnny Evans up 10 spots into 13th. Joe Campbell in 14th. Richie Joplin up 9 spots into 15th. Jose Godino in 16th. J.R. Tanksley 17th. Gerald Thanos Poole in 18th. Sean Patrick in 19th. Zach Edwards in 20th. Michael DiCarlo in 21st. Clayton Wise 22nd. Chris Johnson currently in 23rd. Albie Hewins is out, as is Cristiano Roca and Steven Seams. Jared Mogart's lead is increasing, now 3.6 seconds. This will be, if he can pull it off, Mogart's first XCAL win. He's had a couple of wins in the Dash Series. Took the pole in Iowa and finished 3rd at Bristol. A very promising rookie here this season. Danny and Joe definitely did a great job picking this driver. He has been on fire all season long. A win tonight would be long overdue. Brent Mekas powering by on the high side in 3rd, putting himself back onto the lead lap. If I'm Mogard, I'm letting out of the gas and letting Mekas go on this one. Sean Andrews has gotten past Steven Rex, moved back up into the top 5, is closing in on Lataro, and 3rd place Brent Mekas. 2nd place Matt Bear is closing the gap on Mogard. Brent Mekas in 3rd was unable to complete the pass on Mogard, so it is just Jared Mogard and Matt Bear on the lead lap. And remember, folks, at 10 laps to go, there will be no more cautions. Mogart continuing to go around cars and lap traffic. Matt Bear is close to about 3.2 seconds, but he is now into the lap traffic. Mogart had to come through a few laps ago. Meanwhile, Sean Andrews in 5th is now rapidly closing the gap on 4th place, Lataro Lamperti. And 3rd place, Brent Meckes. Lataro just ahead in that 91 car. Brent Meckes about 3 seconds ahead. Does Sean have the speed to pull back up into the top 3? It would still be a big night for Sean Andrews to be back into the top 5. Johnny Evans just flew by Sean Andrews. Johnny in 13th, trying to run down 12th place Nick Seams. The track temperature has only come down 1 degree all night, but the air temperature has continued to drop, making these engines run a little better and a little faster. Gerald Poole is in for a splash of gas. This is unexpected from Thanos. Gerald on his way back out, but now drops to 21st. That moves Michael DiCarlo up to 19th. Will that be enough to move him up back into the top 20? To get DiCarlo into the All-Star event. "13 laps to go. The lead between the top 2 still steady. 3.3 seconds. Sean Andrews has gotten to the back bumper of Lataro. Jimmy Johnson, Matt Pelletier, Flying Ryan, all still nose to tail. 7th, 8th, and 9th. Jason Seaves and Nick, the college kid, also nose to tail. 11th and 12th place. Richie Joplin in 15th, starting to close the gap on 14th place, Joe Campbell. And apparently Gerald Poole got multiple speeding penalties and is on pit road. Nine laps to go. There will not be a caution here tonight. make several races this season without a single caution. And Jared Mogard headed toward his first XCAL win. Matt Bear looking at second place. Brent Mekas in third. Lataro Lamperti fourth. And Sean Andrews, if he can make it 7 more laps, will finish the race in the top 5. Both Fastlane Motorsports and J&S Racing having great nights tonight. They have to make a comeback after Flaming Karma swept the top 3 at Martinsville. Jared Mogard coming into lap traffic. He'll have 4 laps to go at the line. His lead over Matt Bear, 3.8 seconds and growing. And it does look like he is actually going to try and go around the lap traffic. Quickly gets under Jose Godino and will take that spot. Pulls up behind Nick the College Kid and Jason Seams. Can he get around them both? This is the only concern for Mogard. 2 laps in lap traffic. Out of turn 4, Mogard sees the white flag one more time around, and Mogard will get his first ever XCAL win at IRP. Can he get it done? No traffic to contend with. He can coast it from here. He gets the wall. Out of 4, he's gonna get it done. Jared Mogard gets his first ever XCAL win. King Matt the Bear coming home in second. Brent Mekas coming home in third. And Sean Andrews gets a top 5 and hopefully has broke the bad luck streak. Mogard definitely ready to celebrate here tonight. Matt Bear coming home in second. Brent Mekas in third. A great night. Joe Campbell down there helping his drivers celebrate. Don't forget to check out XCalRacing.com. Vote for your favorite driver to make it into the All-Star race. And let's talk to our top three, starting with Brent Meckes. Brent, congratulations, man. You guys had the fuel strategy nailed tonight.
Not as good as some.
Still good enough to get it done.
Yeah, I think we just fell too far behind in the first two stops, and I couldn't make it up on fuel strategy. I think we were pretty much even there at the end, and I caught up a bunch on the end when I took 5 gallons and 5 gallons. We were fast, but it was definitely a fuel strategy race.
Oh, it definitely was, but you definitely had the strategy. Your team has been on fire, leading the team points, and another great finish. You've got to be happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, Fastlane finished. I think we put 5 of us in the top 10, so that's a good night for the team. I had a great night. I know a bunch of people that needed a good night from our team had a good night, so it was a good night. I was happy.
It definitely was, man. Before I let you go, anybody you'd like to thank?
Hey, I just want to thank you for putting on the broadcast. Aaron for putting on a great show. The web shop. Go get some merch. I'll get there eventually. I'm going to win one of these eventually. Admin box. Cooler guys. And all the rest of the sponsors that support us and let us do this fun stuff every Tuesday night. Thank you, guys.
Great job tonight, buddy. Congratulations.
All right, have a good night, Doug.
Brent Meckes coming home in third. King Matthew the Bear comes home in second. And Matt, you led a lot of it, but just not when it counted.
Yeah, I mean, we had a very strong car in the first half of the race. I mean, we obviously had a good car during the second half of the race too, but I mean, Jared just found something in the second half of the race right there when it transitioned to the nighttime right there, and he was just able to get it done. I mean, I had like a solid 4-second lead on him, and he just kept nicking away. I don't know what I was doing wrong. I must have just been overdriving corner entry and not getting to the bottom as much as he was, but damn, I mean, I felt like I was sitting there running good times, but just weren't good enough to get it done in the end. But after the past 2 weeks of having everything happen that I've had happen, it's just good to come out there, get the most laps led. I may have had the fastest lap award too, so I mean, just come out here and rack up as many points as possible. That's just as good as a win.
Oh, it definitely is a big points night, man. Great job tonight. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, man, I just want to give a shout out to How to Suck It Out Racing, Simcoin Racer, JT's Pressure Washing, Admin Box. I know I'm missing some people, and thanks to those guys, I just can't think of them right now. But, I mean, yeah, overall, good run. Try to come out here and do it again.
Well, great job tonight, buddy. Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, brother.
And finally, our winner for the first time ever, Jared Mogard, is in victory lane. And Jared, man, you finally got it done. We knew you weren't far from it, but it finally happened.
Yeah, this feels really good. I don't know, man. It feels really good. Had a really good car. The guys in the setup shop nailed it this week, and I was kind of surprised there at the end of the first round. I was even with Matt on fuel, so I knew I had the fuel length to make it work, and just kind of stayed with his strategy. And I kind of guessed on the final stop, and we were pretty close. We had 2 laps left, I think, when I crossed the line, so I was a little bit closer than maybe I wanted to be on fuel. But yeah, this thing was good, and it was that's what you call a good old-fashioned take them to school lesson by me and Matt there. Lapped the whole field, and it was really good.
It definitely was, man. And you definitely had a ton of speed tonight. You had the strategy nailed. Everything was perfect tonight. You've been nipping at this for a while. We knew it was going to happen. It was about time. A great job. Anybody you'd like to thank tonight?
Yeah, like I said, just really happy to get this done. This is kind of where I expect to be every time I run. Maybe not the same speed as Matt, but definitely running top 3 and in contention. So it feels really good to get that done. But I just got to thank Daniel, Danielle for letting me drive her car, JNS Racing, everybody that is a part of JNS Racing, and again, the setup shop nailed it this week. All the sponsors that make XCAL go, Aaron, everybody, Butt Kicker, Web Shop, everybody that's involved with this deal that makes it go. It's greatly appreciated. And then I heard the news. You're leaving us here in a couple of weeks, but greatly appreciate everything you've done over the years, and this year bringing the races to all the fans, and hopefully they enjoyed it.
All right, man. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, Jared Mogard finally gets to victory lane. We've seen it coming for weeks now. It was going to happen. Man, what a win. Congratulations to JNS Racing, back on top again as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to go check out the XCAL Wet Racing web shop. There'll be some Mogard gear in there before long. Hope everybody had as much fun as we did. We'll see you tomorrow night. For Nowski, have a great night, everybody.
Wow.